A Tier 2 Valorant player has accused his teammate of offering him $2,000 to throw a VCL game. He's also accused his org of failing to investigate the issue and benching him when he spoke up.
So we have match fixing.
I was not able to find much information when I was looking at stuff besides this video. So take this story with a grain of salt.
Don't even start that shit here, mate.
There hasn't been a lot to confirm this. I think, well, the score is pretty reputable. They're a company from up here in Canada. They used to do like actual sports stuff, and now they've transitioned more into esports. So they are credible, but even in the video, it's kind of like this is from one source, really, and it's still a story where we don't know much. We don't know. We just know the individual who offered the money is from China. That's it.
Player has accused his teammate of offering him $2,000 to throw a VCL game. He's also accused his org of failing to investigate the issue and benching him when he spoke up. The org has since responded. Here's the full story.
That's kind of wild.
Just because I'm here working in Los Angeles for the VCT kickoff tournament does not mean I can't
plan the journey. I don't care. Get to the story.
But I did wake up.
Oh, that's so creamy.
Yeah, she's like, what's she yapping, bro?
Silence, woman.
Like, fucking just say what you're gonna say. Why do you gotta add all this extra dumb shit? How many people do you reckon's done it? Like, taking the 2 grand?
It's happened a lot. There's no way it hasn't happened a lot.
There's a story from 4 years ago that is also about 2 grand. And it's, yeah, it's crazy.
Bell, because I'm a very tired girl. Before we begin, I would like to thank my colleague and friend Tuxedo for bringing this to my attention. Otherwise, I would not have seen it. So this all started when Rave, a player for the organization Skulls Esports, an Algerian esports organization playing in the Valorant Challengers 2024 MENA League, made accusations that he was offered to lose a match. He alleged that a fellow teammate, Hammer J, asked to speak on Telegram, telling him that he has connections in China and offering him $2,000 if he threw an upcoming VCL match. Rave says he refused and brought it up to his teammates and manager. He also claims some unnamed individuals brought up Hammer J as still being involved in match fixing. Rave claims that after this, he was informed only a few hours later that he would be benched and his teammate most opposed to Hammer J, Troublemaker, would be kicked. He concluded by,
"Ooh, gets spicy, hey? Hey, I think there's some corruption going on. Out."
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got offered 2 grand to throw my next match. Fuck off. Yeah, mate. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so Russian players are getting bribed by the Chinese in a shit game.
Alleging the organization has not conducted a proper investigation. The management asked him to not spread the information he has, and then Hammer J has accused him of slander. At the time of reporting, the only proof of his claims that Rave has publicly provided is a screenshot of an alleged conversation between him and Hammer J asking to speak on Telegram, which Rave admits is not direct evidence. The organization in question, Skulls Esports, responded to the accusations yesterday on Twitter. They claim they've heard Rave out, but no concrete evidence was provided. They claim Hammer J denied the allegations to them and have since reached out to VCL administration. They also claim that Rave was benched for attitude and playing style, that Troublemaker will be back next week, and that they're keeping an eye on Hammer J. I have reached—
So if he was banned for being a benched, for being a douchebag, why didn't they tell him in advance so that you're not playing this weekend, buddy? You're being a fuckwit. Instead, it's the second he goes, "Hey, I just got offered a bribe to throw the game," and they were like, "You're benched."
Like, if you're a coach, I don't know if either of you guys have played on sports teams, but I have, and it's like, no, you're pretty much, they're gonna make sure you know if you're fucking up and give you a chance to fix it before they go and bench you.
Yeah, they go, okay, listen, if you keep playing like that, we're gonna bench you, boy. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like,
if it's only like a few hours before the actual match, because then you got to get the second, the backup player and shit. And he's gonna be like, "Oh shit, okay."
See, that's fishy. That's weird, and it smells of somebody is, or not just somebody, a lot of people are getting paid off.
Shout out to the players involved, including Rave, Troublemaker, and Hammer J, but have not heard back at the time of publication. But one of their teammates did refuse to comment. I also reached out to Skulls Esports for clarification on the following things. I asked for evidence of Rave's unsuitable playstyle and attitude, proof of them working through official VCL channels, and why it appears they waited to reach out until after Rave's public statement.
Exactly.
And why, according to their own statement, they did not want Rave to talk to his fellow teammates. Skulls Esports responded to me to say,
this bitch doing better journalism than Jake Lucky.
I take back what I said.
That's wild. Imagine telling them. Imagine telling, like, the higher ups. So they must be involved. They must know, like, their players are taking dives, and they're like getting a little bit of the cut. Maybe Dude, 4 grand. Yeah, maybe
They're
it's
probably-
4 grand and they're getting the other half or some shit.
I
Man.
guarantee you that if it's to this extent, it's a whole systemic thing within that organization. I guarantee you, top to bottom, people are getting paid off. The top guys are going to get paid off, like the top people in the organization, they're getting paid off the most because they have the most to lose, like the owners of the organization.
Yeah.
But this is not good. Like, this basically, you know, is going to kill this organization if it comes out to be true.
Well, this is the thing. No one's gonna watch it because it's like, why the fuck would I watch? Yeah, it's rigged. Why would I want to watch something that's rigged?
No one's gonna want to play in it.
Yep. It's like, oh, well, what's the point if I'm just gonna get wrecked? And
people won't want to play against them or for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it kind of puts this whole stain on the whole thing where, like, every time someone's like won a match, people are gonna be like, well, did you actually, or did the other dude just throw?
Yeah, it's gonna be, yep. It just ruins everything for them, and they'll have to rebrand completely if they wanted to continue to do it. Yeah.
That Rave did come to them with this allegation, that he had no evidence, that they asked him to focus on the matches while they monitored Hemorrhage, and that they benched him purely for performance reasons and to rotate their 6-man roster, for which they provided a screenshot of an alleged Discord message of them relaying this to the team. In private, an anonymous former player of Skulls Esports made further allegations to me regarding withheld tournament payouts and salaries, favoritism, and unfair benching practices. Allegations were unable to verify at this time. Thus far, I've been unable to find anyone to contact at BCL MENA to confirm Skulls Esports' claim of them contacting him. And for those wondering, if and when Rave gets back to me, I would be asking for the same sort of explanation and evidence. These are very serious allegations, and thus I take them very seriously. So what happens from here? What does this mean? Rave's accusations are grave. To claim that a player from a Challengers organization is involved in match fixing is not a good look for the scene. Of course, there have been match fixing scandals in the game, even someone in Singapore being jailed for a few months for it, but that doesn't make this any more acceptable.
Fuck them Singaporeans!
True. Why should we accept this? As for Rave's
we got massive problems. I got
We're going to war.
I have mad beef with the fucking Singaporeans.
Yeah.
well, they start beef. They started
more being jailed for a few months for it, but that doesn't make this any more acceptable. Why should this be commonplace if true? Why should we accept this? As for Rave's allegations, it feels as if the story is far from concluding, and we'll let you know of any updates in the future. It is a very brave thing to do if this is true, to come out and say that it happened. There's just a lot of factors involved, and there's a lot of risk involved. Whistleblowing is
like, it's so brave, it's so strong.
Yeah, well, that's fucked.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Do you reckon there's, like, if you're a part of one of the competitions, right, previous, do you reckon there's, like, incentive, especially this one now, because there's actual evidence of it, do you reckon there's incentive of maybe being able to sue if you're one of the teams, like the organization?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
Yeah. There's definitely incentive to have people investigate this further. Especially if you're like a competitive team, you can get kind of like your overall like team record switched, right? Take away a loss. That could be somewhat of a benefit, but it depends on how far back it is and how much proof there is. So if there's not a lot of proof with a specific incident where you feel like maybe they threw it, there's no point in going forward with it, you know?
Yeah.
No, that is actually a good question.